BTS News Today. Armies around the world were shocked by the shocking news that came from behind the military walls and the public calm that had been enveloping two BTS members, Jimin and Jungkook. A secret message allegedly written by Jimin to Jungkook on the eve of their return from military service was suddenly leaked to the public. Although not yet officially confirmed by Bigot Music, the content of this message has caused a stir among fans and triggered a wave of emotions that are difficult to describe in words. The news first emerged through an anonymous post that quickly spread across social platforms such as X, formerly Twitter, and fan communities in South Korea and internationally. In the post, it was mentioned that Jimin, known as one of the most expressive and emotionally sensitive members, wrote a personal note addressed to Jungkook. The note was reportedly found in handwritten form and was not intended for the public. This message became even more significant because it was associated with a big moment: the approaching date of Jungkook and Jimin's return from military service. After more than a year of service as South Korean citizens, the two members plan to return to civilian life in the near future. Fans have been looking forward to the moment for a long time, but the leak of this message adds a very deep emotional dimension to this long-awaited moment. The content of the allegedly leaked message touched different layers of emotion. In the circulating copy, Jimin writes of longing, admiration, and a promise that invites many questions. He wrote about the lonely nights in the military barracks, about Jungkook's voice that kept reverberating in his mind, and about how he longed for the presence of a best friend who always gave him a reason to stay strong. Jungkook, if you're reading this one day, know that there's not a single night that I miss without thinking about you. Even in the silence of this camp, I can hear your laughter. You know, I try so hard not to cry, but you were always the reason I wanted to come back sooner. I want us to talk again, like we used to. I want us to finish things we haven't talked about yet. Jimin wrote in one part of the message that it didn't take long for ARMY to connect the content of this message to the emotional dynamic that had long been associated between Jimin and Jungkook. Their relationship has long been in the spotlight of fans, not only because of the physical and emotional closeness seen in various public interactions, but also because of the mutual respect and support that both have shown on numerous occasions. What was most surprising was the final part of the message. In that passage, Jimin wrote a sentence that made many readers cry. "If you go out first, and I haven't arrived yet, wait for me for a while at the gate. Don't go yet. I want to be the first person you see when we're free." This line, which sounds like a cut of dialogue in a romantic movie, made many fans admit to crying while reading it. Various speculations have emerged. Was this message really written by Jimin? Does he have deeper feelings for Jungkook than the public knows? Or is it a very intense expression of friendship and emotional closeness between two best friends who have gone through so much together since adolescence? South Korean media began reporting on the incident, with several well-known outlets claiming that they had traced the letter to the truth. Several inside sources cited by outlets such as Dispatch and Newsin stated that the writing style and emotions in the note fit well with Jimin's character, who is known for being sensitive and expressive. However, there has been no official confirmation on the part of the agency, which is likely choosing to maintain the privacy and emotional integrity of its artists ahead of an important transition from military life to civilian life. Meanwhile, the global ARMY community is divided into two camps. On the one hand, many felt touched and grateful to be able to read Jimin's heart that was so honest and deep. On the other hand, there are also those who raise concerns that such personal notes are leaked to the public, which could hurt the feelings of the author if it is true that Jimin wrote them. Reactions from fans were mixed. On Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, there have been many reaction videos showing fans crying, reading the letter in trembling voices. In Korea, the hashtags @sapsingpunji, Sarajimin, and hashtag Jungkook for Jimin have been trending for more than 2 days. Many wrote hoping that Jungkook would actually read the letter and reply in a way that was no less sincere. This moment also brings back memories of emotional interactions between Jimin and Jungkook in the past. From the warm embrace backstage, to the look in each other's eyes in the middle of a concert, to the moment when they compliment each other in an interview. It all seems to be part of a long narrative that now finds its new chapter in this letter. For some of the army, this letter was not just a message. It was a confession, an emotional honesty that had long been felt but had never been conveyed so clearly. Some fans even wrote a reply letter to Jimin, which they posted on social media, ostensibly representing Jungkook. Someone wrote, "Jungkook will be waiting for you, Jimin, because you are the home he always wants to return to." Sentences like this are widely circulated, creating an incredible wave of love and support. Interestingly, relationship and psychology experts who participated in the comments stated that this kind of emotional closeness is very likely to occur between people who have grown up and lived together under tremendous pressure like the members of BTS. According to them, feelings of affection, longing, and even love can be born from deep bonds that do not always have to be romantic. In the case of Jimin and Jungkook, the feelings seem to manifest in the form of rare and touching emotional intimacy. In an online discussion held by the academic community of Korean pop culture, some researchers stated that Jimin's message, if properly written by him, could be an example of the power of soft masculinity in South Korean culture, which is increasingly being accepted and celebrated. This message shows how men can express affection, vulnerability, and emotional needs to each other without fear of stigma. Sometime after this message went viral, fans began to wait for Jungkook's response. Will he answer? Will he signal that he has read and understood his friend's heart? Moments like this usually mean a lot in K-pop fandom, as they show the human side of idols that often looks far, far away. Shortly after this news went viral, BTS and Weverse official accounts were flooded with comments from fans who hoped the message was not a fabrication. There were also those who prayed that the two would meet right at the military gate, as Jimin had dreamed of. Edited images from that moment began to circulate. Jimin and Jungkook standing face to face at the gate, staring at each other, against the backdrop of the morning sky and Haru's smile. The visualization of the collective expectations of the fans makes the atmosphere waiting for their return even more hopeful and loving. It is undeniable that this letter has changed the way the public views Jimin and Jungkook's relationship. Not just as two coworkers or best friends, but as two souls who have gone through so much together, growing each other, strengthening each other, and perhaps also waiting for each other. Although it is not yet known when and how the official reaction will be from Bigot or from Jimin himself, one thing is certain: the message has already knocked on the hearts of millions. He became proof that even behind the fame, the glitter of the stage, and the media spotlight, there are people who yearn, who write in silence, and who hope to be understood. Now, attention is focused on the days leading up to their return. Could it be that we will see Jimin really waiting at that gate? Will Jungkook step outside and see Jimin smiling for him? Or will they let everything remain a mystery behind a letter that accidentally opens to the world?